What is inflammation? Why is it probably wreaking havoc in your system? And what can we do about it to bring it back under control? My name is Danielle Matthews, and in this video, I'm going to be diving deep into inflammation and some of the hacks that I found over the years to deal with it, to get it out of my own body so I can live a vibrant and full life. If you're new to my channel, I help people on their healing journey to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and I love talking about ASEA's products specifically because they work on the cellular level, and we will dive into that because that has for sure been one of my top hacks for inflammation. But let's get into it. If you're not familiar with what inflammation is, it's a normal response that the body has. Let's say that you fall down and you cut your knee, right? We have seen the body cause that area to become red, to become puffy, for things to kind of blood flow to increase to that area. That's inflammation. It's becoming inflamed. And what that is the healing response. That's the body saying, hey, there's an issue over here that we need to address. And so it's pushing everything to that area, causing inflammation along the way to help things get addressed in that area. Now, for your knee and a cut like that, it's normal. Let's say you have surgery. It can be a little scary, right? Day 2 or 3 after a surgery, where all of a sudden the surgical site is looking inflamed and a little scary. It's normal inflammation. It's healthy inflammation. It's your body's response to trauma, to issues that need healing. What can happen, unfortunately, is that this response can say turned on. And when the inflammatory response is turned on chronically, you can start to have health issues that are popping up that you might not look at and think, oh, it's inflammation. You might think something else is wrong. For example, if you have persistent fatigue, right? Low energy just all the time. You're feeling a bit drained, constant tiredness. If you have like joint and muscle discomfort, you might know people that, when they stand up, it's like they got to wait a minute to get their knees underneath them, or they can't reach their shoulders up and their arms above their head because their shoulder joint is hurting, or their hands, right? They can't grip things, or they accidentally drop things, or they can't grip to open a jar. Right? This is inflammation in the joints. It can happen in your muscles as well. We see this happening in digestion. So if you get bloating after meals, if you have cramps, if you have discomfort, a lot of times this is because of chronic inflammation that's in the digestive system. If you have mood swings or brain fog, again, this is because if there's a difficulty concentrating, the inflammatory process is likely affecting your brain. Skin problems. There's so many different things. Rashes, redness, acne, physical injury, right? We talked about. But these things can be evidence of inflammation in the system. And so I want you to step back and say, okay, with my body right now, whatever's going on, am I addressing this rash on my skin as like just the symptom and not the root? You know, I talk about this tree often. I just did an entire video talking about the root cause of different issues. And I want to have you think, okay, am I trying to just like make this leaf feel better? Am I trying to just get this rash off my skin? Or am I taking melatonin thinking that that's going to help with my sleep issues? Or am I taking caffeine, to help with the lack of energy? That is masking a symptom. Your body is talking to you. If you have these things happening, right? Puffy eyes when you wake up in the morning, right? It's showing you that there's something in your body that's off. There's some root of an issue that you haven't addressed. And the underlying root cause of most disease and illness is inflammation. It just is. The body is in an inflamed response and is causing havoc, not meaning to. It can lead to autoimmune issues. It can lead to all sorts of different things. And so the purpose of this video is to help you understand that, hey, you might be having a response in your body that you're masking with the symptom, but is actually your body talking to you about something chronic, underlying, that's sitting there that you want to address. Because if you don't address it, it's just going to continue to wreak havoc in your system. All right, you're going to be playing whack-a-mole, trying to make up for that symptom and, the skin and then the brain fog and the sleep and the digestion and the bloating and the, oh my gosh, when really they're all linked. Really, there's one thing at the root of it all. So how do we deal with the inflammation? Well, an anti-inflammatory diet. Look at your diet. One of the number one things you can look at is just food is medicine. What you're putting into your body is what you're becoming. And so you want to make sure that you're eating foods that are supportive. Things like leafy greens. Turmeric is really good. Berries are really good. Omega-3 rich foods like fatty fishes are really good. What do you want to avoid? That's probably the easier list to look at. If you just cut out processed foods, the inflammation in your system, you are going to visibly watch yourself shrink, especially if you live in the United States. There are chemicals and things being put into our food, synthetic things discovered in laboratories that our body does not know how to process, and that causes this inflammatory response. I mean, just go to the beach, right? If you went to the beach in the 60s and you went now, like I was looking at pictures, someone had them online, and it was like, oh my gosh, the difference in the body. And it's not because people nowadays are lazy. Not at all. It's just our food has changed, and what we're putting into our body, these processed foods, the body doesn't know how to deal with, and it causes inflammation. Everyone's a little puffy. All right, you go to Europe, say you go for a week, you come back to the United States, you will see it, because the bodies here are more inflamed than they are over there. Sugar. Whew, sugar is in everything. Check your condiments. Check the things in your refrigerator, your dressings. There is so much sugar added to everything. It is unbelievable. Cut out those sugars. You will also see the inflammatory response in your body goes down. A lot of refined carbohydrates can also cause inflammation. So just try and eat less of those things. I think that's part of why the keto diet has gone nuts in recent years, is because it just cuts out these sugars, these processed things, and so the body just is not inflamed, and you're able to do more. You feel better. You want to work out. Like, it's this beautiful snowball in the right direction. Rather than like cycling down, you're cycling up. Other things, just reduce stress in your life, right? Stress can cause so much discomfort in the system. It can cause the nervous system to get dysregulated. It can cause cortisol levels to go up. It can just cause so many different issues. I have a totally separate channel called Inner Mastery Podcast, where I talk about breathing techniques, meditation, different things to help you master your inner world, so your circle of serenity, your ability to have peace amidst whatever chaos is happening, can increase. I'll link that in the description if you want to go there for that kind of support. But movement is another great thing to do. Get out and walk. Just walking and moving the body helps the lymph system to start to move, right? You can get on one of those rebounders and jump. It's going to just help things process through the system. It's going to support and improve your body. So do not have a sedentary lifestyle. It does not work well. Inflammation in your system is not going to be moving through if you are sedentary. Sleeping, you really need a deep sleep, all right? It helps your system to reset. It helps your body to flush out, get back into balance. And then my number one hack, you knew it was coming. ASEA redox. Why? Because I have seen the research now. I mean, I've watched it with my own eyes, my own experience, right? I had an injury to my brain that caused a ton of inflammation in my brain. And taking this started to support me. My mom, she couldn't make a fist with her hands. Why? She had lots of inflammation in her joints. What happened when she started drinking this? Range of motion was coming back. Discomfort was going down. Why? Well, a couple of things. All right, number one, we know based on the back of the bottle, I mean, the research is here. There's a study done at Torrey Labs. They were the same laboratory behind Ancestry.com, so they work a lot with the genes. And what they did is they looked at several different genetic pathways, signaling pathways, and they found that when you drink ASEA, as compared to doing nothing or just drinking salt water, which I know some people on the internet think ASEA is salt water, this study, double-blind, placebo-controlled, said, hey, when you change nothing, these markers don't shift. When you drink salt water, the markers don't shift. But when you drink ASEA redox, these markers shift. These genetic pathways are increasing. They're upregulating. Well, one of those pathways has to do with the inflammatory response in the body. So think about that. If I can go to the root of the issue, if I can tell my cells to start signaling and getting this back into balance, that's going to be huge. One of the other pathways that this activates is EGR1. This is an interesting pathway signaling gene. It's like domino effect, right? It hits one and then ding, 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 all these other things. It's a cascading response. And one of the things it hits is NRF2. Guys, NRF2, there are companies that just sell products that focus on the NRF2 pathway. This is like ASEA hits that key and so many others, right? It's just so much more profound. But understand this is a very important pathway. That's why there's products that just focus on it. The NRF2 pathway, when it's activated, it goes into the nucleus. It's this cascading event, that goes into the nucleus and tells your cells to make the antioxidant glutathione. Understand that glutathione, as a master antioxidant in the body, what is it doing? It's getting rid of oxidative stress. What does that mean? It's getting rid of inflammation, okay? It is combating that. It's also helping you detoxify. There's so many ways that it's supporting you. So if you are having issues, right? The bloating that we were talking about, the discomfort in your muscles, in your joints, you've got the brain fog, you can't concentrate, you just feel puffy, your skin is having rashes, you're not sleeping. Guys, all of these things are very likely correlated, and you need to start getting to the root of the issue. My suggestion would be to get yourself on a 90-day cellular health reset protocol with this, right? Just get your system upregulating, right? The response that helps with balancing out inflammation in the system. Get your antioxidants working and helping your system to deal with this oxidative stress. Get moving. Set a goal to start walking. Cut out the sugar. Do everything you can. Throw everything at your system to deal with the root of the issue. And I bet you, just like the plant, when you water it, right, you see the leaves drooping and they're turning yellow and they're not happy. You don't need to go polish the leaf. That's not what you need to do, right? That's just masking some symptom of a deeper problem. You need to look at the root cause. You need to look at what's going on. And very likely in your body, that might be what's happening. Now, this is not meant to treat, cure, diagnose, prevent anything in your system, right? I'm just shedding light on something that on my own journey, I had to learn and realize, right? After my traumatic brain injury, I started to realize how much food was impacting me. I would eat a slice of pizza and within an hour, I would have brain fog. I would be fatigued. I couldn't articulate as well. I would get headachy. And I started to correlate that the food I was putting into my body was causing a certain response that was leading to these symptoms. So I switched my diet. A lot of protein, a lot of fat, right? And I started to see that, I felt better. Now, it wasn't repairing the underlying issue. That's where, redox came in to help my body find the damaged cells, but it was supportive, right? It wasn't like I was continuing to put fuel onto the fire by eating this terrible food. So I hope this enlightens you in some way, gets you on the trajectory to get inflammation out of your system. If you have any questions, of course, you can reach out to me via WhatsApp. My number is in the description. You can comment here. It is me behind the scenes answering everything. I would love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to get you started. If you want to get started on the redox, I will put all of my codes in the description so you can get started with a discount. I recommend the Essentials Bundle always, as it is the best savings and it's the right amount to get you started on this 90 days to reset your cellular health. All right, until next time, if you haven't already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications so you know when I'm uploading each and every week and you get the most recent topics, and share this with somebody that needs to hear this. Have a beautiful day.